Meet the new Hyundai Kona, the second generation since the first one arrived in 2018. It looks like an electric car, but these ones are petrol powered. The regular 2-litre front-wheel drive and the turbocharged 1.6-litre all-wheel drive. Electric and hybrid versions will follow later this year. In this video, we'll go through price and equipment, tell you what they like to drive and which one of the range we would pick. Let's take a closer look. The second generation Hyundai Kona small SUV, a rival to the Toyota Corolla Cross, Mazda CX-30 and Subaru Crosstrek, among others, has finally arrived in Australian showrooms. Despite the familiar proportions, the follow-up to the original model launched in 2018 is a clean sheet design and based on all new underpinnings. And if you think it looks like an electric car, despite a choice of petrol engines, you'd be right. Hyundai says it deliberately styled the new Kona to look like an electric vehicle so it blends in with the traffic better in the future. And while electric and hybrid versions of the new Hyundai Kona are due by the end of this year, the company has launched with two petrol variants, a 2-litre 4-cylinder with a CVT automatic and front-wheel drive, and a turbocharged 1.6-litre 4-cylinder with an 8-speed torque converter automatic and all-wheel drive. Prices for the new Hyundai Kona range have increased by more than $5,000. There are initially 6 models in the new Kona lineup, 4 examples powered by a 2-litre engine and CVT auto, ranging in price from $32,000 to $42,500 plus on-road costs, and 2 models powered by a 1.6-litre turbo 4-cylinder and 8-speed automatic, ranging in price from $40,000 to $46,500 plus on-road costs. The Kona comes with what Hyundai calls its Horizon grille. That's that big light strip across the front, and it's also the same theme across the back. That means the front comes with a big plastic nose, and on petrol models, there's a big air vent underneath the number plate. And there are flaps that open and close depending on the outside temperature and how much cooling it needs. All models in the new Kona range come with LED headlights, front and rear parking sensors, and a complete suite of advanced safety tech, including blind zone warning, rear cross traffic alert, radar cruise control, speed sign recognition, and autonomous emergency braking. Tyre pressure monitoring is standard, however, it's not the valve stem type. It relies on the rotation of the wheel to detect if there's been a puncture or a sudden loss of pressure. While that's good in an emergency, it's not ideal if you want to check your pressures throughout the day on a long drive. The new Kona has a much roomier cabin. We've got extra storage above the glove box here, and all models have a widescreen digital display for infotainment and for the instrument cluster, but the top-end models have two 12.3-inch displays. As you'd expect, a lot of the basic controls can be found on the steering wheel cluster. There's also plenty of options to power phones and accessories. We've got 2 USB-C charge ports, a 12-volt socket, and a wireless smartphone charger is standard on all models. There's a decent-sized glove box, plenty of storage in the center console and the door pockets, and there are rear air vents for the first time. Back seat is a bit cozy, it's roomier than before. A little bit more headroom, a little bit more knee room, as we said before, rear air vents, and there are 2 USB-C charging ports. Top-end models come with a power tailgate and the boot is bigger. However, there's still only a space-saver spare tyre under the boot floor. That means if you do get a flat, you're going to have to limp home or to a workshop. Time to go for a drive. The regular 2-litre model is perky enough, but there's no doubt the 1.6 turbo does have a bit of extra pep to it. The 1.6 also launches better thanks to the all-wheel drive grip. Of course, these cars are not supposed to be race cars, but the 1.6 definitely has a bit of poke. Other differences, the 2-litre is paired to a CVT automatic, which works quite well, while the 1.6 turbo finally gets an 8-speed automatic torque converter transmission. At first, the 18-inch tyres felt a bit too firm and the suspension a bit too brittle, and the 19s felt more comfortable. Normally it's the other way around. But after spending more time in the Kona, the 18-inch wheel and tyre package is actually fine. It's a bit firmer than some other SUVs in this class, but it's not a backbreaker. The 2-litre engine paired to a CVT automatic really will suit the needs of most buyers, but if the budget stretches that far, the turbocharged 1.6-litre paired to an 8-speed torque converter automatic is really perky. It's not quite a hot hatch, but it's not far off it. The bigger footprint makes the Kona feel much more sure-footed in corners, whether that's on a winding mountain pass or the roundabout near your local shops. The CVT is actually pretty clever. It mimics the gear changes of a conventional automatic transmission. The 2-litre and 1.6-litre engines are surprisingly fuel efficient. We're getting between 6 and 7 litres per 100 k's on an open road drive. One of the downsides though with the 1.6 is that it requires more frequent servicing, every 10,000 kilometres rather than every 15 with the 2-litre. Downsides? Some of the advanced driver aids are really fiddly. If you try to mute the speed alert warning system, it actually disables it altogether, and I think that's counterproductive. I'm not a fan of the tyre pressure monitoring system only being based on the rotation of the wheel rather than having sensors in the valves. And I'm not sure that I would get used to this gear selector wand, which is down on the steering column. But other than that, the new Hyundai Kona is definitely a step forward from the old model and should make a shopping list if you're in the market for a small SUV. As for the price, the new Kona is dearer than a Mazda CX-30, but slightly cheaper than a Toyota Corolla Cross. So which Kona model variant would I choose? I'm still a fan of the base model. I think the 2-litre engine with the CVT automatic front-wheel drive is all the car you need. A safety rating from ANCAP was not available when this review was published. Final testing was yet to be completed. However, all Hyundai Kona models come with a complete suite of advanced crash protection and crash avoidance technology. To read the full review on the new Hyundai Kona, as well as on the other models it competes with such as the Toyota Corolla Cross, Subaru Crosstrek and Mazda CX-30, go to Drive.com.au. As always, please hit like if you've enjoyed this video and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future updates.